Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Quantum Leadership Conference. Here we are bringing together thought leaders, presenters, researchers, channels, wisdom keepers, astrologers, and many, many more who will each offer their unique perspective on some of the biggest questions the world is wondering about at this time. Why is everything breaking down? When will the breakthrough arrive? And what kind of leadership will it take to uplift and empower humanity as a global collective to thrive in joy and abundance on the other side of these great changes? To sum all of this up, we could say, what kind of leadership do we need next in our world? And for all of you who are listening in and attending, remember that you are a next level leader. You are here to help in creating the brightest possibilities for the future of humanity. Here in the Quantum Leadership Conference, you will receive tools, strategies, paradigm shifting research, and groundbreaking information that will empower you to step into your brightest leadership, embrace your purpose, welcome in financial abundance, and change the world in exactly the way that feels most fulfilling and inspiring to you. Allow us to support and inspire you on your journey. I am Jocelyn Starfeather. I'll be your host and your guide for the Quantum Leadership Conference. And today I am delighted to be here with Amanda Kolbaba. Welcome, Amanda. I'm so excited to speak with you today.
Hi, Jocelyn. Thank you for inviting me to speak here. This is such an exciting topic, especially right now. Yeah, it's just this is a good time to be to be discussing this.
It really is. Oh my gosh, it's just such a pertinent topic for all of us in the world with everything going on right now. So, yes. Absolutely. Well, I'm so glad to have you here, and I will share a little bit more about you and your work. Amanda Kolbaba initially pursued ballet and earned her BFA in dance from York University. After experiencing several injuries and embarking on her own healing journey, Amanda discovered her true passion for supporting others in their healing work. This led her to explore the world of energy and possibilities. Amanda is educated in various modalities and currently works as a registered massage therapist as a graduate of Sutherland Chan, as also a Reiki master, a cranial sacral therapist, sound healer, reflexologist, intuitive, and spiritual life coach. She also leads ceremonial events, shamanic journeying, meditation circles, and intuitive courses to help others strengthen their intuitive abilities and envision their highest potential. So, Amanda, the topic of your interview today is stepping into your place as a leader, and I can't wait to hear what you will share with us today. Now, I would love to begin by hearing from you a story about your journey. Could you tell us maybe about a turning point on your path that led to you stepping into this beautiful work that you're doing now?
Well, I didn't have there's a lot of people who speak of like a major event or something occurring in their life that really, you know, yeah, changes their whole direction in where they're going and um there opens up their awareness to all these other possibilities out there. And I didn't really have that. I sort of I was the one who was a little odd growing up. I definitely didn't resonate in school. I didn't really have great connections in elementary school, and uh, I had some, but I just always felt this strong awareness of that I'd been here before and I had done all of this before. And I felt really sort of impatient to grow up and get out there and start doing what I wanted. And my intuitive self was quite strong early on, though at that time as a child, I didn't really get what that was. I knew I had a visual of a woman who was always with me, and I intuitively knew that she was there to protect me and work with me, one of my spirit guides or even my guardian angel. And I kept getting the message to be patient and wait till I become an adult, and then I could go out there and do what I wanted to do. And probably when I did feel called to go into the massage therapy program, near the end of the program, I did an intuitive bodywork course where our teacher sort of touched on all of these different healing modalities and energy work. And I had no idea that this existed. I came from a very conservative household. Um, I never didn't even hear about massage therapy and knew that existed until my third year at university. So, um, Reiki was completely foreign. I had heard about acupuncture, but traditional Chinese medicine was very different and didn't know anything about that. But yeah, I remember graduating from the massage therapy program and starting to just eat up all these books, like from Carolyn Miss and Louise Hay, and all about how to heal yourself. And I remember one night I stayed up really late reading, I think it was one of Carolyn Miss's books on how to heal yourself. And I was so excited. I was like, this is awesome. Like, wow. And I remember going to bed. I finished the book. I was just so excited. And I had all these bursts of colors behind my eyes, like deep purple and deep greens. And I was just like, wow. And
Amazing.
then again, yes, if you look at all the therapies I do, I really went out there and just wanted to eat them all up. It's so I get very passionate. I'm a healer at heart. And I follow really, my intuitive guidance. It's always been a very strong um, um, a strength within me that, my compass that directs me and where I'm going in life. And yeah, now I can say, oh, I get what this is, but it's always been a part of me. So yeah, I went on a little bit with that, but yes, I am very passionate about healing. And so what I wanted to let everybody know as I go into this today, because this is such a fascinating and interesting topic and it's so important to discuss right now in this transitional time that we're in, is that we're all leaders. And as we're doing our healing work, I'm really coming from a healer perspective and what my intuitive self is feeling and picking up is that as we continue to heal ourselves and move into a remembrance of who we really are in a very deep way, those parts of ourselves that we've hidden and not wanted to look at, those parts of ourselves that are quite unique and are our own special gifts and talents and passions are starting to bubble up to the surface and wanting to come out. And as they start to come out, we start to manifest and create, sort of going into the last part of what I was going to talk about today. So I will go back to this, but I just sort of wanted to talk about how it's so important right now to get into our healing work and to allow this remembrance of who we truly are. And as we remember and we call forth those hidden deep aspects of ourselves, we just simply step into our leadership role. Um, there's one of ease with it and a sense of freedom and great joy. There's no more of these challenges of trying to work really hard and burdens attached to it. It's more of just a sense of ease and freedom and a sense of great joy too with it.
That's so beautiful. Yes, thank you for sharing that part of your story. I love how you just wanted to soak up all the books, all the healing modalities. It's so beautiful. And yes, I love how you said that we are all the leaders. And I think that it is so important at this time for the light workers, the healers, the, spiritually minded people, the seekers, the highly sensitive people, the intuitives to be stepping forward because that's the kind of leadership we need in our world. And I'm sure you'll get into all of that in your
Yeah,
what
100%. And actually, just one of my guides is just letting me saying, point it out to people is that what I had just said about finding, absorbing all those different modalities and that and getting excited and passionate about it, what my spirit guide is just saying to me right now is this was me remembering and reclaiming a part of myself that I didn't know existed. And this is also a lesson for everybody else that when you come to that point within your life that you have so much passion and excitement for, whatever it is, like not judging it, just whatever that is an indicator that you're reclaiming a part of yourself that you didn't weren't aware of or you had forgotten, and it's time and it's coming to the surface. So yeah, that that was very nice with the synchronicity there. I love when that happens.
Yeah, I love that. And I had full body chills as you were saying. That is a part of
Yeah.
yourself that you are ready to reclaim. I just feel
Yes.
that is a deep truth. So, yes, everybody go for it. Whatever you're passionate about, just go for it. And it's like what we love, what we find fun and exciting is, that's our heart and soul speaking to us and telling us, yes, this is the right path.
Yes. 100%. And I'm just going to move forward a little bit into as we, because we're really at this transitional point right now on our planet where, we've been going through a period of a separation of our parts of ourself. We went into this space of energy, into this frequency or a vibration of wanting to explore what it is to have forgotten who we are. And we became fragmented or separated from these really cool, interesting parts of ourselves. And it was an experience. And it took us to a place where we lost, the connection to sacredness, to be the sacredness of our true being, the sacredness of Mother Earth, an understanding and a deep awareness and meaning for what it is to be creators. This is how we know that we're all leaders. How can we not be leaders when we're all creators? Like it doesn't make any sense. So, and we're creating, we've continued, even though we have forgotten who we are, and we went into this energy vibration that's quite low that caused a separation of ourselves and a fragmentation, for an experience to go deeper into the understanding of the opposite of love, because our natural state of being is love. We're all love. And when we did this, we really, the core that we lost was the sacredness and the deep meaning and understanding of self and everything else. With that comes respect too. And we played this story for a long, long time. And it's like, oh, so glad I'm in this time now. And I think everybody's glad or happy in some aspect that we're all here where we can be a part of this transition of moving back to the sacred, back to the deeper meaning of our true selves, of Mother Earth, of the universe, the cosmos. And I think a lot of our families where, our galactic family or our ancestral family, are very excited that we're starting to awaken and being able to bring all this sacredness back and a deeper understanding, awareness of self and Mother Earth. And one of the things that came up for me when I was actually meditating on speaking here today, uh, it was a little bit, yeah, it was not where I was going to go, but again, this is maybe what's needed to be spoken of, is how war again is breaking out on our planet. We're seeing these themes. And a couple of years ago, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I sat in ceremony with mushroom medicine. I believe the mushrooms that I took was Amazonia, which is a very earthy goddess energy, and connecting very deeply into the sort of not quite the shadow self of Mother Earth, but definitely the ancestral work and trauma and healing. And it actually was a very cool experience. It was, again, synchronicity occurred where we lost power. We had a huge storm where I live, and we lost power that weekend, which was perfect because we didn't have the all of the electrical stuff and frequencies interfering with the actual ceremony and what we were taking. So I had the whole journey was my ancestors coming in. I think my aunt, who I did know who passed over when I was 20, she came in, and each one of them, of my ancestors that came in through this journey, spoke on how they felt uprooted from Mother Earth, that their experience on Mother Earth was that they were traumatized by this uprootedness. And I wanted to touch on this today because maybe some people don't realize, or maybe people are trying to reconnect, do some ancestral work, and find that deeper connection with Mother Earth again. And near the end of this ceremony, my great grandfather and my grandfather both stepped in on my mother's side. And my great grandfather was in World War I and was lost in that war. He didn't return home afterwards. We did find out what happened later on through doing work and trying to locate where he went, but he never returned. And he spoke a lot to me how the war caused him a lot of damage and damage to his divine feminine self. He said that being uprooted from the land and being taken to another part of the land and being in this traumatic space of energy of war really damaged his feminine self. And he lost that divine connection to Mother Earth. And then, of course, it trickled out into his children, because at this time, so this was England, Ireland. I think they were probably in England, but they're part Irish as well. What happened was when the dads weren't home or lost, especially if you were a Catholic, the Catholic Church stepped in and interfered in the family. And so what happened was when my great grandfather was lost, the Catholic Church took the children for my great grandmother. And yeah, and they put my grandfather and my other great uncles, and I think my great aunt too, they put them into a Catholic orphanage where they were raised by the nuns. Even though my great grandmother was fine to take care of them,
Wow.
um, I
That's so
think they,
terrible.
yeah, it was very,
Yeah.
very traumatizing because you lose your dad. And then this organization decides on your behalf to take you out from your mom. So you can see how the trauma is continuously created here. My grandfather didn't speak a lot, but he was with my great grandfather. And my great grandfather asked me during the ceremony to reconnect them back to Mother Earth through me and to heal this trauma. So the reason why I'm bringing up this whole story is that once again, we are in this place of fragmentation and creating the energy of separation that really uproots us again from Mother Earth and is actually to war is not just an attack on, you know, us humanity, but it's also an attack onto Mother Earth, on the land herself. And I don't I don't think we're going to have time today, but I can do this meditation and ancestral work came up with me this morning. So what I will do is I will create another pre-gift if that's okay, which would be a second shamanic journeying into re-establishing connection with self, deeper with Mother Earth, but also working with your lineage and working with your specific lineage and reconnecting your lineage to Mother Earth. And so your mother's line as well as your father's line and doing that through your body. And I can do that for people if people are open and wanting that. I think that would bring a lot of healing, not just to self, but to your ancestors as well. Because as we do this on ourselves, we have to heal our ancestral work too and bring that energy of wholeness back rather than constantly creating separation and fragmentation.
Mm.
And as I say that too, as we work in healing and moving back into a place of wholeness and oneness, we really have to become much more deeply aware of how we are creating an energy frequency of separation and fragmentation within our external world as well as within us. And I'll just quickly say for everybody to remember, we have to remember that again, we're creators. So we're creating a vibration and energy within ourselves that goes out into our external world. And so we can go from external to internal here because it's just a little easier. But when we look at external, we can look at how we label each other. We label each other in different ways. I mean, it drives me crazy when somebody labels me. I'm like, don't label me. This is just my opinion. It's my belief right now. Tomorrow it might be different. And I should have that opportunity for the next day to have a completely different opinion and belief. That is okay to be like that. And but we're constantly creating these ways of separating each other and causing these polarizing and opposite of and sort of fighting with each other all the time. And it's like, why do I have to be labeled anti or pro or, conservative or liberal or whatever, wherever you are, that like, why does it matter? It's just what I'm feeling in that moment that's connecting and resonating with me. And that's okay, but it's becoming very difficult to have. Oh, just had a huge crow just go by my window. But spirit is here.
Yes.
Um, um, we need to realize that it's to create safe space for others to just allow them to be. And then hopefully, if they're in that space, they can do the same for you. And again, it's just simply that person's truth in that moment. You don't have to agree with them, just as you don't have to agree with anything I say right here, and that's completely fine. It's just simply about allowing somebody to speak their truth and to work through their own truth. And then hopefully they respect you in giving you that space to do as well. But when we understand that that's the vibration we're creating out there, we need to pull back and look within ourselves. Well, if I have a really hard time with somebody's opinion or belief in this, what is that saying about what I'm not accepting within myself? Because what is out there, what I'm resisting or having a hard time with, is really a reflection back within myself of just not accepting something, a piece of myself, or an awareness or something that I don't want to look at yet. And again, I know everybody who's listening to this knows about this type of work. We're always working with this. People speak about it in different ways. It's all truth, but we need to really pay more attention and awareness, and really understanding um, the vibration and what we're creating. Because if we want to create something healthy and new and a higher vibration and one of wholeness, we do have to realize and be more aware of how we are creating and where we are creating from.
Yes. Wow. Thank you, Amanda. This is so powerful, all that you've shared here. And your ancestors' story was so moving to me. Thank you so much for sharing that and for offering to create the shamanic journey for our audience here. That's really wonderful. And I can sense that that takes more time than what we have here in the interview. So thank you for providing that. I can feel how that sort of clearing and healing in our ancestral line as well as within ourself is going to go a long way in helping people, to step into the fullness of who they are as we clear out those old wounds. So thank you so much for that. Um, and so I would love to ask you next, and I think you've answered this a little bit, but just to go into it a little bit more, specifically, right? How can we step into our power?
Yes, yeah, I stopped myself from talking because I was just going to go right into that.
Yeah.
Uh, so yes, the big thing that comes up for me, and I'm seeing this with a lot when I work with clients or just listening to other people out there, is we are, and again, I do have to say, we are programmed, unfortunately, but that's again part of the experience of fragmentation and separation. We are very programmed to see our strengths as weaknesses. And we're very much, yeah, we're very much, it's very much programmed outside in very different ways through media and music and stories. But again, it's also other people's own traumas of putting down and disempowering what is actually very powerful. I was speaking with a neighbor a couple of weeks ago, and she was talking about how she is a strong empath, but how she sees it as a weakness. And her grandson, who's 5 years old, she is seeing in him, she's really a reflection back to her, is that he is also a strong empath. And she's feeling sorry for him because he has this. And again, she kept bringing up the word weakness. So my healer self just can't tolerate something like that. I'm just like, no, it's not a weakness because I'm a strong empath. And I'm like, absolutely not. Being a strong empath or just an empath, um, is not a weakness, it's actually a strength. And I said to her, I was like, well, why don't you look at it as a strength more than a weakness? In that, an empath, especially right now, is so important to humanity and to this world right now. It is so important in that you can warn your family and friends if there is something dangerous coming, if there is a situation or a person who may not have your highest good at heart, that could actually take you down a path that is very destructive. And an empath, a strong empath in a family where everybody, all the members in the family should go to and say, I'm thinking of doing this or trying this out, or this person approached me, or I'm dating this person. And I may have some like concerns or red flags. Like, what do you feel? And this is a person who can really direct and protect their family and friends and really help out. Um, and support where people are going. And so I explained this to her and I said, instead of, your grandson is very, very young, like, why don't you start working with him and, maybe in a way do your own, this can really help you to heal and to see and shift your perspective in all of this. And your grandson being so young right now, you can really help him to develop this amazing ability in a strong, healthy way. And I also said to her too, the thing with empaths is that it's also, this is my belief because I'm a very strong empath and growing up as a child and getting all bombarded by all these other people's emotions and their stuff, and not having being very confused and um yeah, just being very confused and emotionally all over the place. Another way of being fragmented and separated is realizing that maybe being it coming in as an empath is you need to have very strong boundaries. And maybe this is a way for you wanting to learn to have very strong boundaries and almost in a very fast way too. Because again, you need to have strong boundaries if you're an empath. You just do. Or again, it's yes, of course, you're going to feel overwhelmed a lot of the time. You're going to feel sort of emotionally pulled in different directions and not understanding. It's taken me years working with people. Like I remember probably early on, I'd say like within 5 years of treating people. And it's funny because I had a lot of massage therapists say the same thing, where they didn't teach us in school and how to protect ourselves energetically. They taught us very well the sciences and how to treat injuries and physical issues. But they never taught us how that, and we're in somebody's energy field for an hour or for a period of time. And I wasn't clearing my treatment room at all in a good chunk of the beginning of my practice. Now I'm doing Palo Santos or the sage like after every single person,
Mhm.
whether I do massage or Reiki or whatever, it's just constantly clearing. And I remember one evening I wanted to go back to taking ballet classes. I signed up for adult ballet classes, and I remember after the day of work, I was in the parking lot of the studio and I was just crying. I couldn't get out of the car. I was just crying. And I remember sitting there and being like, this is not my stuff. This is not my stuff at all. This is all of my clients. And that realization, it's like, I can't live if I'm like a mess, emotional mess, because I'm not protecting myself. So what I'm saying is that we need to start looking at ourselves in more of an empowering way. And again, just very quickly, if we start to shift our perspectives and sort of flip it, we can actually see in history where the groups of people are most attacked. And so, number one, it's women across the board. Women have been attacked throughout history. Doesn't matter your race, culture, religion, women are always attacked. And then we have the indigenous and we have people from Africa. Those are the next big groups that are always attacked. Well, I question that. I'm like, why? Because we hold the power here, because we have a lot of power and wisdom. We are not victims. Nothing, we're being attacked because we're actually quite powerful.
Mhm.
And it's like it's time right now to embrace and become more empowered with who we are and what we have to offer, instead of again being drawn into the victimhood and being drawn into these energies of separation and thinking of that something is a weakness instead of realizing this is actually your strength and your power. I could go more into this, but I we don't have time. And I want to go more into the leadership aspect.
Yes, yes. Well, this is such an important paradigm shift that you're offering to us to really look and see which of our, our beliefs, or like you said, what we believe to be our weaknesses, is that really a weakness, right? Or is it actually a strength that we've been taught as a weakness to take away our power? So this is really, really important. So yes, can you tell us next, Amanda, how can we step into our leadership?
Okay. Yes. So there's two things I really want to touch on. And the first thing is I do feel with and we're as we're remembering and we're healing and we're coming back to that wholeness, to that higher vibration of love, which, like I said, is our natural state of being. This fragmentation and separation, being in a place of fear and anger, that is not our natural state of being. And that's why we're programmed in it so much. And that's why there's so much in external influence over us to constantly create this. And what is also empowering about that is that each of us, as we step into empowering ourselves more, we shift that energy in that external or outside world, the external world, more and more to a place of empowerment instead of the fear of separation and that sort of thing. And as we do this, our definitions and understanding of who we are and how we do things and our experience on Mother Earth is changing and shifting because our definition and experience of leadership, I believe, is completely like in that energy of separation and fragmentation. A lot of people and myself, we see leaders as like, you're head of a company, you're up here in, your career, you're a politician, you're something with great authority that we have defined as great authority. And that again, if we actually step back and look at that energy vibration, that is really one of fragmentation and separation because we've created a hierarchy with leadership, and leadership is not a hierarchy. It's not that. So we do have this need of reevaluating and redefining the ways that of what we've created, these systems. And that's why they're sort of falling apart right now, too, because a lot of us are being like, that's not really right. That's not how it should be. And again, to another point to this is we've placed too much importance on money. Um, It's just, again, if you're really wealthy, then suddenly you have an authority in medicine. I'm sorry, but if you haven't gone to school and studied science and medicine, who are you to tell me what I should be doing to my body? How are you an authority just because you're a billionaire or a millionaire? Um, Great, you got millions of dollars. Okay, but you have no authority over what I do to my body. I I don't really get that. So I think we really need to start to open our eyes to being like, well, who are you? Like, okay, this is your truth, but that doesn't mean you're the authority over me. And you have a lot of wealth, but I don't see you helping people with that wealth. I mean, all these billionaire, okay, I'm gonna get off in a tangent here. I'll pull myself back in a sec. You're like, there shouldn't be any poverty on this planet. I'm like, these billionaires can still stay billionaires or millionaires, even if they gave half of their wealth up, and nobody has to be in poverty. But yes, I'm gonna pull myself back here.
So true. Thank you for saying that. So true.
Really, I say to people, I'm like, listen, if somebody's a billionaire or a millionaire, and again, this is my personal opinion, people don't have to, it's okay if you don't, this doesn't resonate with you, but I don't really feel like you're really helping out humanity. You're really here for humanity and to support humanity. Because if you've got that much money and we've got people starving and in poverty, that doesn't make sense to me. Um, yeah. So, anyways, I will pull myself back from that now and go back to the leadership. So, redefining what is a true leader is very important. And I think that is a bit of a block to ourselves stepping into our leadership role because we're like, well, I don't have that education, or I don't have a lot of wealth, or I should maybe being in a place of leadership, I should be making more money. And it's not about any of that at all. That is actually, like I said, it is a fragmented way of thinking and creating. It's so I and it's also in that energy of competitiveness. Um, People have to remember competition is it's a competition energy. Energy with competition is that there's always a winner, therefore there's always a loser, and that is not a healthy energy. That is not an energy of being equal. Again, it's a hierarchy, and it's somebody being over somebody else. That is not a wholeness. That is not a state of being in love, that energy. And then the other aspect I wanted to talk about is that as we do, and I spoke about this briefly at the very beginning, is as we do our healing and come more into accepting ourselves and creating wholeness within ourselves and feeling connected once more in a deep way, in a meaningful, sacred way with Mother Earth, with the cosmos, with ourself, and we start remembering who and what we really are. Like I said, naturally, all of these hidden powers and abilities and talents and passions and gifts are starting to naturally bubble to the surface. And as they naturally bubble to the surface, you're in the energy of manifestation. Things will just happen. You will simply step into that place as you're meant to be as a leader, whatever that shapes or looks like for you. And again, um, it may be very different or shocking or surprising. And that's where we have to shift that idea of and definition of what a leadership means. And also going to the money abundance aspect. if you are within the energy of your true self and being and playing or working within that energy, the you are just bringing in you're resonating and attracting and connecting to that natural energy of abundance that is meant to support you. It's all wholeness, it all goes together. And you don't need to be so concerned about money. You don't need to feel so enslaved by your bills and the money and all of that, because it really is an enslavement, unfortunately. And again, I can go off into that too, but I won't. So, and there's also too another thing. I know we're coming to the end of this that I want to say is when you start to flow into this, you will know by it because you become so excited and passionate about it. You find that it's like, yes, just like what spoke about my story in the beginning, it's like you want to eat up all of this information that you're receiving. You want to delve into it more. You want to explore. It brings you so much excitement and joy and happiness, and things just flow and work for you that you don't need to feel like you have to work for it. You don't feel like it's a burden and you have to push or make things happy. It's now you're in this energy of ease and it's just within this flow. And that's how you know you have done a lot of healing, that you are connecting in a deeper way to your natural state of being, which is love, which is the higher self, whatever you want to call it, spirit, God, goddess, um, source, whatever it is, you know that you're in that energy now. You've come into that place, that state of energy and being, and everything is just smooth. And I think people are starting to feel that in different aspects of their life. Maybe not in every aspect, but are starting to. And the places where you may not be feeling that, or you haven't come to that yet, it just simply means that there's needing to be more healing, more acceptance, more wholeness within yourself. And another point I just want to make before I finish here is continue to pull yourself out of the external world here. The world out here will shift and change drastically when you've done the work in here. And that is what's empowering. A lot of people feel disempowered because our natural tendency, which is all based in love, is we want to help people. We want to help people in the Ukraine. We want to help people in the Middle East. We want to help, people who are in poverty and that. And the thing is that we can't the what is empowering and what is very powerful the most is when you've healed yourself and you now can shift and change the energy out here. And that is what will empower others and help them shift.
Yes. Wow. Thank you, Amanda. There's so much here. I feel like this has just been this transmission, this download for us to receive. And I'm so, so grateful to you for bringing it through here today. Um, it's been so beautiful. And yes, I mean, this is what you're, it's a part of the core of what you're saying here about how we hold our own energy, how we've done our own healing work, and then we are naturally going to be rippling that out, creating change in those around us, in the world around us. It's so powerful. And it really is at the heart of all these shifts that we feel happening in the world right now. And we get to choose. We get to do that deep work. We get to choose what we love along the way. And it's like this is how we put ourselves back in the place of power after all these, hundreds, sorry, centuries or millennia of, all that's been forgotten or taken away. We get to reclaim it now, and it's so beautiful to hear it in
Yeah.
this from you.
And just to let everybody know too, we have so much support. We have, like I said, I feel like that's why it came through with connecting with Mother Earth in a very, very deep way, because we experience from her. She is the divine feminine. She is our ultimate mother. That is, if you didn't have that mothering energy as a child, you have it from her. We always have that from her. And we have so much support from her. We also have so much support coming from the cosmos, our galactic family, our ancestors. Like, we have support. We're not doing this by ourselves. So we have to remember that too. Like, you're not alone in this journey. We're all doing it together.
Yes, yes, and so many more people are awakening, and we're raising this
Mhm.
energy in this amazing way. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Well, thank you, Amanda. Now, I know you have a wonderful free gift for everybody, which is a shamanic journey about stepping into our leadership. So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
So this one, I felt the needing to connect with our pure joy and freedom. And because we've been so programmed with working really, really hard and always having those burdens, if we don't feel like we're in that energy, we don't feel like we're actually attaining or doing anything. And that is so untrue. It's the complete opposite again. So, this shamanic journeying, I will take you into connecting with the energy of the dolphins and feeling that pure joy and play of the dolphin energy and this feeling of freedom. And they're going to dive you deep into the deep waters of yourself to begin to look for and discover your leadership. What is your leadership abilities, or your uniqueness, your gifts, your passions, what may be hidden, or if you are starting to become more aware of it, to help you take you on those next steps in clearing the way and helping you. So it's a nice fun journeying. And like I said, I will also do the ancestral one with connecting with Mother Earth as well and send that one. So, if people want to try one or both of them, whatever resonates with them, they'll have that opportunity.
That's amazing. So everybody, if you just scroll down a little bit below this video, you will find links to both of those wonderful shamanic journeys that Amanda is creating for us. Thank you for these lovely, lovely gifts.
Sure.
And I would love to ask you as well, where can people find you online? And is there any new projects you want to tell us about that are coming up?
So people can find me on my website. It's www.heartalchemy.ca. I have videos that I do sort of on a regular basis with shamanic journeying that can help support people in different ways. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Amanda Kolbaba. I do once a month a webinar where people can connect with me. At the beginning of the month, I will do a reading of the energies of that month that can help support you, help you with your healing, or give you some clarity and insight. And right now, I don't have anything coming up, but probably sometime in January, I'm thinking of putting a course together on developing more of our intuitiveness and our awareness with our intuition. I didn't get to talk about that today, but that is also very, very important. A little bit with what I talked about with the empath is that we really need to develop our intuitive abilities. We all have them, we can all access them, but they can really support and help direct us in what we're doing, where we're going on this planet in this time.
Beautiful. Yes. Amazing. You're working on so many beautiful things. So I invite everybody to check out Amanda's website, heartalchemy.ca, and you'll find the link to that right below this video too, and see what more treasures you might find there. So, wow, thank you, Amanda, for all that you've shared here today. It's been so powerful and so moving to hear. And I just deeply honor your journey and all this beautiful work that you're doing and all the light that you're bringing to the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I hope this resonates and helps some people. And thank you so much for doing this beautiful online summit. The work you do is so powerful and so needed right now. It's just beautiful. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. And to everybody out there listening, I hope you received so much from this beautiful conversation today. And thank you for being a part of the Quantum Leadership Conference, everyone out there. And I look forward to seeing you in the next interview. Much love and bye for now.